Hi everyone, my name is Leanne and today I'm going to be sharing with you the books that I plan on reading this spooky season. Halloween is just around the corner and I have decided that this year I really want to get into the spooky spirit and especially incorporate that into my reading. So I have picked a few books off my shelf that fit the theme of Halloween. Without further ado, let's get into the TBR. One of my biggest priorities to read in October is Her Majesty's Royal Coven by Juno Dawson. I have read a few Juno Dawson books before and really enjoyed all of them. This is her first book specifically for grown-ups. She's written a lot of YA books previously, although definitely some of them on the kind of higher end of YA, sort of new adult. They deal with some quite, heavy themes, but this is the one that is an adult novel. I believe this book is about a sort of secret government department to do with witches. I have heard so many good things about this book. I love Juno's writing. I love books about witches, so I think this is going to be a definite win for me. I'd also like to read Last Ones Left Behind by Sarah Davis Goff. This is an adult novel that is set on an island off the west coast of Ireland, and I think it's kind of like basically a zombie novel. One of the characters is bitten and the other characters are left with a decision of whether to kill her before the transformation process is complete or whether they should try and get her help. A book by another Irish author that I'm really keen to read this spooky season is Precious Catastrophe by Deirdre Sullivan. I meant to read this last year for Halloween but didn't get around to it. This is the follow-up to Perfectly Preventable Deaths, which was one of my favourite books in the year that I read it. It is a YA novel that is about sisterhood and witches. It's sort of hard to talk about this one without spoiling the first book, but we are following the same sisters that we do in the first book. As I said, absolutely loved the first one, so really excited to delve into the second one as well. I would also like to read The Other Ones by Fran Hart. This was very kindly sent to me by Chicken House, so thank you very much for sending this one my way. I am so excited. This feels like it's going to be like the really cozy Halloween vibes rather than the kind of outright scary. This is a spooky contemporary queer romance that follows a gang of unlikely friends in a haunted house. I think this is going to be one that I read in maybe 1 or 2 sittings and just get super cozy, like on a dark, really autumnal evening. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I would also like to read The Witches by Roald Dahl. I'm assuming this is a reread. I am assuming that I read this at some point when I was a child. I don't have a distinctive memory of doing so, but I definitely plowed through a lot of Roald Dahl books as a little kid. So this is another one that I think is going to be a super quick, cozy read. Read it in bed with hot chocolate, have the fairy lights on, have a Halloween themed candle on. Just a great cozy reading time. You may have also recently seen my TBR for Victober, which is a month dedicated to reading Victorian literature. I'm not going to go through these books in any great detail here because I did a whole video talking through my Victorian October TBR, but very quickly I am going to try and read 4 books by H.G. Wells. So The War of the Worlds, which would be a reread, The Invisible Man, The Time Machine, and The Island of Dr. Moreau. All of these in that kind of sci-fi, creepy, scary kind of space. There are so many other spooky, Halloween-esque kind of books that are on my shelves that I could be picking up, but just looking at the reading pace that I've been going at throughout this year, it's unwise for me to put any other books on my TBR. I think I'm stretching myself even at this point with these 8 books. Are you someone that themes your reading around the season? I think this is the first time I've really gone hard on Halloween. Normally I'll maybe pick one spooky book to read the week of Halloween, but I feel like it's going to be my whole month is going to be really spooky and I'm here for it. If you've read any of the books that I've mentioned, do leave me a comment down below and let me know what you thought of them. If you'd like to find out more about any of the books I've mentioned, they will be linked down below in the description as well. If you are theming your reading this year around spooky season, let me know what you're reading as well. And if you don't have anything in particular to say, leave me a pumpkin emoji if you want to let me know that you're here. You can see many pumpkins now freckled across my bookshelves. That is it from me today. I hope you guys are doing well and I will speak to you in my next video.